Today's lesson is 2.01 volume of cylinders. You will need your math notebook, pencil, and calculator. Please make sure you're taking notes and working the problems as I go through this lesson with you. And we'll go ahead and get started. So today's essential question, how do I solve problems involving volume of cylinders? I will be able to describe the volume formula, V equals BH, of a cylinder in terms of its base area and its height, and solve problems involving the volume of cylinders so that I can determine the volume of a cylinder. I'll know I got it if I can interpret the diagram or word problem to find the volume of a cylinder. So this is the definition of volume. Volume is of a three-dimensional figure. It's the number of unit cubes required to fill it completely. So it's filling it up. So if you're talking about soup, it's the volume, it's the soup inside the can. And so we've got this formula is on your star reference chart, the one on the left, not this one. But B is, notice it's a big B, capital B, is the base. So the base is the bottom of it, and that is a circle. And the area of a circle is pi r squared. So again, the B means the area of the base, and then H is the height. So to find the volume of a cylinder, you will take the area of the base and multiply it by the height of the cylinder. And since the base is a circle, you use pi r squared times the height. All right, here's the star reference chart. You have the one section area, and notice the area of a circle is on there. We have surface area, and this is what our focus is today, volume, and we're doing a cylinder. Now look at these formulas. This has a small b here, and this has the big B. And the reason why this is just the small b, because it's just the side. Like it says rectangle, so it's like the base of a rectangle would be the length of it. So it's just a side, where this is the area of the bottom. So in a cylinder is going to be that circle. So let's look at this. So V in the volume formulas is area of the base. What does the H stand for? It's the height. And what is the shape of the base of the cylinder? It's a circle. So let me just jot this down. Make sure you have this in your notes or take a screenshot. V in this volume formula is area of the base. All right, and the H stands for the height or how tall it is. And so the cylinder, the shape of it is a circle. So we'll be using this part for the B. Find the area of the circle. So breaking it down, here's an example. Determine the volume of the cylinder. So we have our formula that's on the reference chart. And since it's a cylinder, the base is a circle. So you substitute in the area of the circle for that big B, pi r squared. You'll want to use the pi key on your calculator when you are calculating these, unless it tells you to use 3.14. So then we look at our diagram. The R here is radius. So remember the area of a circle, pi r squared. The R is the radius of the circle, half the distance. So you put the 4 in for R. It has to be squared. And the height, even though it's on its side, the height, you just pop it up and sit that can on the circle, and now the height is 12. So here's the numbers you would put in. And you'd go ahead and do 4 squared is 16, and 16 times 12 is 192. And you saw that pi, and then you use the pi key, 192 pi would be like 192 times 3.14, but use the calculator, and it's approximately 603.19. All right, so let's try this one. So determine the volume of the cylinder. So you're going to always start with that formula, which for the cylinder, B times H, and the B is a pi r squared. Now on this cylinder, we have the diameter, not the radius. You have to have the radius. All right, radius is half the diameter. So radius would be 5. So we're going to leave the pi key there, or the pi sign there. We're going to square the 5, and we're going to multiply it by the height of 6. And then we're going to go ahead and do 5 squared, and that is 25. And then times the 6. 25 times 6 is 150, so 150 pi. Remember, when you multiply, you can switch them around, and it's better that you put the number in front of pi. And then you could do it put into your calculator 150, and like I said, try to use that pi key so you are more accurate with your answers and it's not rounding it off. The pi key is above that caret key, second caret, and then press enter. 471.238. So we're going to put 471.24 approximately. 471. Okay, so if you lost me on the calculator part, so this is what I put in. I put 150, and then I used that blue second key, and then the caret key, because above the caret key, you'll see the pi symbol. And then just press enter. Now that caret key, if you forgot where that was, it's above the division sign on the right-hand side. And then press enter. And you get this. All right, let's go ahead and practice a few more. So the cylindrical giant ocean tank at the New England Aquarium in Boston is 24 feet deep. It has a radius of 18.8 feet. Find the volume of the tank. Use the approximate value of pi that is 3.14. So we're going to use 3.14 because it tells us to, and then round the answer to the nearest tenth. So I want to start, it's always good to start with the diagram. So I know I'm not an artist here. I'm going to try to draw a cylinder. Okay, here's my tank. And it says that it's 24 feet deep. So that is actually the height. And it has a radius, so it does, we can put a circle around there. So you can see all the radius is, don't have enough room to write there, so 18.8. So then you have a visual. And so we're going to go ahead and write our formula. And it is a circle for the base, so we're going to do pi r squared. It does say to use 3.14 for pi, so let's go ahead and substitute that number in. And then it's going to be 18.8 squared, and then times the height of 24. Okay, I recommend trying just do this first, so your calculator, make sure it does calculate the right answer. So just do 18.8 squared, and we get 353.44. So we're going to multiply that by 353.44, and then times 24. And the little dot is multiplication. So you have the 353.44 in your calculator display already, so just hit the multiplication, 3.14, and then times 24. You can do it all at one time, and you get 26,635.2384. Go ahead and make sure I get that. I'm going to write down the whole thing so we make sure we know how to round it correctly. 26,000. 635.2384. And it does say to round to the nearest tenth. So the 2 is in the tens place, look to the right, and that tells you to leave that alone. So the answer would be 26,635.2. I don't like these dots here. I don't want you to be confused. Remember, it's just multiplication. Okay, we're multiplying, and then our final answer is here. All right, let's move to the next one. A standard size bass drum has a diameter of 22 inches and is 18 inches deep. Find the volume of this drum. Use the approximate value of pi, that is 3.14, and round your answer to the nearest tenth. So we're going to use pi again. All right, so we're going to have a bass drum. So I'm going to assume it's like a little bit wider cylinder. Don't make fun of my drawings. I'm trying. Okay, good enough, right? So it says that it is 18 inches deep. That's our height. Now this time it says diameter. So that goes all the way across. The diameter is 22. So remember, we have to use the radius in our formula because the base is a circle. So that's pi r squared. So if the diameter is 22, the radius will be 11. We'll go ahead and put in 3.14 for pi. And we're going to do 11 squared. You can just use parentheses to show multiplication, and then times 18. So 11 squared will be 121. So just multiply all three of those together using your calculator. 3.14 times 121, I'm using my calculator, times 18 is 6,838.92. So I'll write that down. 6,838.92. And it does say to round to the nearest tenth. The 9 is in the tens place. The 2 says leave that 9 alone. So our answer is 6,838.9. Last one, here we go. All right. So it says fulgurites, not sure I'm saying that correctly, are pieces of glass in the shape of a cylinder produced when lightning strikes sand. Interesting. A student found a fulgurite with a height of 21 inches and a diameter of 6. Which equation can be used to find V, the volume of the fulgurite, in cubic inches? All right, so you could draw the diagram if you want to. I think it helps. It helps me see the visual. Has a height of 21. Diameter goes all the way across, and that is 6. So remember, our formula is base times height, and this has to be pi r squared. So 6 is the diameter, so the radius would be 3. And it looks like we're not even going to multiply it out. So we're going to just put in we're going to leave pi. Our radius is 3. You have to square it and then multiply by 21. This was an actual STAR question from last year. So the answer here would be B. All right, please make sure you complete your Ole Miss lessons. Go through them carefully, thoroughly, read everything, take notes, do those practice problems.